Do you need a contract to ensure you get paid in a partnership? So imagine you have an important business relationship. It might not technically be a partnership. It might be a joint venture. It might be a sales rep relationship. But whatever this ongoing relationship is that you have, do you need to have it in writing? Most lawyers will tell you, of course you have to have it in writing. Every contract has to be in writing. But I think it's important to acknowledge that not every relationship is big enough to be in writing. Often the stakes are not high enough to justify spending the money to have a lawyer draft up a contract. In 2023, let's say it costs you $1,000 to have a contract written up. And let's say the relationship that we're talking about having put in writing has a benefit of $3,000 and a risk of $3,000. Because say, for example, you're hoping to get paid. Does it really make sense to spend a third of that, $3,000, on having a contract? Here are some of the factors I'd recommend considering when determining whether to actually hire an attorney or not. First off, do you already have leverage in the relationship? For example, if you're providing work each month in exchange for getting paid each month, and they need your work, you've got some leverage there because the other side needs you to provide ongoing work. So if you have leverage, you're far more likely to get paid than if you just send a product and you're hoping the payment comes in for that. So if they need you for some reason, you may have leverage, which suggests that perhaps you don't need to have that contract in a formal written form. Second, based on what you know of the person, are they likely to pay? And perhaps more relevant, would a written contract improve the likelihood that they are going to pay? Sometimes a written contract doesn't matter either way. Maybe it's a family member of yours and you know they always pay, they have high integrity. Or maybe it's a large company with an important reputation in the marketplace and plenty of assets. Statistically, they're far more likely to pay than some startup company with barely any assets and no reputation. So you might consider whether you actually need to have a contract based on their likelihood of paying and whether that is affected by having a written contract. Next, I would look at, is there a lot of money at stake? If there's a lot of money at stake, that suggests you should have your contract in writing. If there's not, then that suggests having it in an email with bullet points or something like that is sufficient. Now, let's say you decide that it just doesn't make sense to hire an attorney to put together a contract for you. At that point, you might be tempted to use a template online, and I'd encourage you not to do that because templates often include a bunch of terms that are standard for a particular relationship, but the important question is, are they relevant to your agreement with the other side? The purpose of a contract is to put the agreement and the terms that you've both accepted in writing, not to adopt a template. A lot of times clients ask me, hey, can you send me a template for this? Well, I have thousands of templates, and often I will spend the first 30% of my work for a client understanding what are the terms of their engagement and then trying to find the closest template that matches it. But always I have to make changes to the template because I have never had a template in one situation that works for another situation. Even clients hiring a CEO, hiring an independent contractor, agreeing to license a trademark, or the sale of a business, never once have I not had to modify the substantive terms in the contract. But you might be saying, okay, well, if I have to decide between paying an attorney and having nothing at all, I guess I'll just have nothing at all, but that feels really ineffective and risky. And so if you're in that situation, I have one new idea for you, which I have been incredibly impressed by. This is an option that never in history has been available to people until 2023. And that is using AI to put together a rough contract for you. I've spent extensive time using ChatGPT. I've spent some time using Claude AI. Both of them are surprisingly good at helping you at least get some basic terms in place for a relationship. Now, I'd never rely on what AI puts together for a large contract because every time I ask AI to put together a contract, it's missing a number of key pieces. But it's usually better than an email with just some bullet points in it. And so I have some other videos talking about how to use AI, but I think the key here is to put into ChatGPT or Claude the scenario you're dealing with, the names of the parties, the important terms, and then you can even ask it, what other terms should we consider for a contract of this type? And then have a little conversation with AI about what else should I consider? Am I missing anything else? Are there other factors I should consider? And then when you get done with that conversation, you can say, using the information above, please draft a contract for me and this other party. And then of course review it. Now, should you run this by an attorney? Absolutely. Is this a perfect contract? No. But it's better than an email with some bullet points written by a non-attorney. And so if you are in a situation where the transaction is just too small and it doesn't justify spending money on an attorney, better than having no contract at all is a contract that you've put together and understand using the power of artificial intelligence. ChatGPT, Claude, Llama, or any of the others that are available, the GPT-4 is probably the best I've seen right now, but all AI keeps improving and changing. So if you are a small business owner and you can't afford an attorney to draft a contract, take the approach I've discussed here to get together at least a rough contract using AI. And if the stakes are high, if the other side is unlikely to pay, or if you don't have leverage, those are great reasons that justify paying an attorney to draft a contract for you. If you would like more information about any of these topics today, if you are interested in a business owner and getting educated on common mistakes business owners make and how to avoid them yourself, you can go to aaronhall.com/free and sign up to get a number of videos and other resources to help equip you prevent problems in your business. This is for entrepreneurs, startups, business owners, CEOs. Generally, I'm thinking about companies with under 500 employees, even as few as 1 or 2. Because for you as a business owner or a future business owner, you can either prevent these problems or pay the much more expensive cost of having the problem and having to clean it up afterwards. The purpose of this YouTube channel is to help you avoid problems, grow your company, provide a great value to your customers and clients, create a great environment for the people that you work with, and experience the success that comes from having a good company built on best practices. I'm Aaron Hall, an attorney for business owners and entrepreneurs. If you have questions about any of this, feel free to put them in the comments section below. Look forward to seeing you next time.